Escape. A man was locked up in prison, in a cell with open ground and a very high window under the roof. There's only one shovel and nothing else in the room. It's very hot and dry inside. In addition, the prisoner has no food or water, so he only has 2 days to escape. Otherwise, he will die of dehydration. How can he get out? A small clue. Digging a tunnel is not an option because it would take more than 2 days and he simply wouldn't have the strength to do it. The countdown starts now. Do you have a solution? Here's the right answer. The man must use the shovel to make a mountain of dirt under the window, then climb up and get out through the window. Stolen necklace. If the previous task seemed too easy for you, here is another one, a little more complicated. Miss Smith addressed the police with a statement about the loss of an antique necklace. The police went to the crime scene and found that there were no signs of forced entry on the door or windows, and only one window was broken. There was total chaos inside the house, and the entire floor was covered in dirty footprints of someone's shoes. The next day, Miss Smith was accused of fraud. Why? The police quickly realized that the owner of the house was misleading them because the glass could only be broken from the inside. Otherwise, the fragments of it would be on the floor inside the room. Murder at school. On the first day of the academic year, before the last lesson, the body of the geography professor was found in one of the classrooms. The police immediately identified 4 suspects: the gardener, the math teacher, the PE teacher, and the school principal. During the interrogation, everyone revealed where they were at the time of the murder. The gardener was cutting bushes in the backyard. The math teacher was supervising the final test of the semester. The PE teacher was playing basketball with his students, and the principal spent all day in his office. Immediately after the interrogation, the police arrested the criminal. But who killed the geography teacher, and what was the mistake the murderer made? The math teacher was the one who killed the geography teacher because he couldn't have the final test of the semester on the first day of the school year. The solitary man. On the outskirts of the city lived a lonely man who never left his home. In the middle of the summer, on a Friday morning, the postman brought the newspaper to the man's house and called him. He did not answer, so the postman looked through the window and saw that the man was lying dead on the floor. As a law-abiding citizen, the postman called a policeman. Near the house, the policeman found a bottle of cold milk, 2 bottles of warm milk, and the Tuesday's newspaper. The very next day, the cop arrested the killer. Now tell us, how did the cop figure it out so fast? The murderer is the postman, because only he could know on Wednesday and Thursday there would be no one alive in the house, and therefore he didn't bring the newspaper to the murdered man's house. 2 pills. A cunning maniac kidnapped different people and forced them to choose one of 2 pills, and it wasn't to get out of the matrix. According to the kidnapper, one of the pills contained poison and the second one was completely harmless. The maniac always managed to take the second pill. The kidnapped person swallowed the pill with a glass of water and died immediately, while the maniac always walked out of it alive. Why didn't the killer ever choose the poison pill? The thing is, both pills were completely harmless. The poison was in the water meant for the victim. Frozen windows. You want another riddle about windows? One cold winter day, a man came to visit his friend and found him dead. The police arrived immediately, interrogated the man, and he voluntarily told that he had been knocking on the door and calling for a long time, but the friend had not answered. After that, he decided to look inside from the frozen window and breathed into the window to melt the ice a little. As he looked around the room, he saw that his friend was lying on the floor. Despite his detailed story, the police immediately arrested the man for murder. Why? Ice in frozen windows cannot be melted from the outside because it forms on the other side of the glass. The chemical riddle. A chemist was found dead in his lab. The cops did not find any clues in the room, except for a sheet of paper with the names of several chemical elements. Witness interrogation showed that on the day of his death, only 3 people visited the chemist: his wife Mary, his nephew Nicholas, and his friend Jonathan. Upon hearing this, the investigator immediately arrested the suspect. Who was the killer? And how did the investigator find out? The scientist was very clever and managed to leave a clue on that same piece of paper. If the names of the chemical elements are rearranged, then together they form the name Nicholas. Well, how'd it go, Sherlock? Did you find something out? In the meantime, we say goodbye, but not for long. See you later!